Cool sucks. Cool sucks. Hey everybody, it's Josh from CollectionDX here with a review. This is the mini action Voltron Vehicle Force. It's number 9 in the mini action series. It's the first one I've had. This is by Action Toys. It is licensed by World Event Productions, so it's not labeled Die Ruger 15. It is squarely Voltron. Okay. First thing I notice is that the package is small and it is light. It's very light, but it was about a $60 to $65 piece. Not super expensive, and it is fully posable. It has all 15 vehicles, forms the Aqua Fighter, the Strato Fighter, and the Turbo Terran Fighter. So yes, very interestingly licensed, and actually licensed by Universal. Which, I used to be up with all the licensing, but I got tired. So yeah, this came out earlier this year, but I ordered it domestically, so it took a little while to ship. So let us unbox this and check it out. All right, so tray, plastic tray, instructions, very just point and arrow do this, point and arrow do that. Shows you how to make all the teams on one side, shows you how to make vehicle Voltron on the other side. Just a simple plastic tray. No styrofoam here. And all the vehicles. So here are the helicopters. They are what forms the upper arms of vehicle Voltron. Again, very light, very small, but nicely done, I will say. The propellers do turn, and they're removable because they also are used as weapons. And you'll be able to see that there's some articulation where it connects to the shoulder. Some articulation there. And this part comes off for a reason, and that is in the transformation. So it's not a perfect transformation. There's a small amount of parts swapping. Red helicopter, same deal. I mean, it's obviously a different sculpt, but you know, for the other side, you know, this comes off, rotates. Here's the head ship. Again, very light, very plastic. There is no metal anywhere in this toy, just FYI. But that's, you know, that's what you get for $60 these days. There are no, the only movable part is the engine nozzles, because that will become the neck joint. And these doors don't open. It's going to be a part swap to swap out the faceplate. Very sharp, very angular, very stylish, and nicely detailed. We have the chest ship. Again, very stylized and angular. Very plastic. No, that's not. I don't think that's anything there. No landing gear to pull out. These are sort of remnants of the tabs for assembly. But you do have this one piece that moves, and that's going to anchor it to the chest block. But very, it's kind of like a nice modern update of the classic ship design. So a little more dynamic and angular than the other toy versions. So, and here we have the kind of the center chest part. You have a little more going on here than the other ones. You have some things to do. You have these panels will come out. Like that. And then this piece can come up. This one does not. Just kind of indicate that's the front of it. And you can see the arm holes, head hole, chest hole. So nothing fills these when it's not in that mode. And this part is removable, but I think it's really, you know, it's there so you can turn it. So let's build the Strato Fighter. So close these up, push that part down, and rotate this around. The head we'll just plug in, goes right in. A lot of popping. There's no like sort of levers or anything to, you know, free or release them. It's all very friction based. Looks like. Yeah, there you go. That's the Strato Fighter. I mean, it's obviously you can kind of fine tune the position of all the parts just to make a more solid connection, but I mean, for its size, that's really good. Okay, here are the little C-Team submarines. They are, yes, very small and very light, but they look okay. They none of these vehicles have any wheels that move on the bottom of it, so they're just like this. But for their size, I mean, you see how big my fingers are here. Ooh, don't look too close to my fingers. They're nicely done. The paint's pretty good. Finish is pretty good. I'm happy with that. Here are the lower leg pieces, the blue submarines. There are no wheels here, but the detail is nice. You also don't really get any sort of advanced towers going on at the back, but it's fine. And then you have the little center sub. This piece can open and close. Again, I'm used to the toy of this kind of chrome center tower, so this is a bit of a departure for me. And one thing I don't like about this particular one is there's clearly a metal rod or something that goes through here that just really doesn't look great, that it pins. These have little panels in the back that you open up, and then you can see you just kind of rotate them around. Again, they're pretty solid, but you also just, if you can't get a fingernail in there, just kind of use pressure of this to open it up. And then you can put, actually this tower stays up in this mode, my bad. Just pushes through. Okay. How these connect? Oh, silly. That is why. These connect like so. Well, that's tight. It's very tight. So again, there's an instance of part swapping there. I will just add, I think this is one of the nicest looking Aquafighter modes that I've seen in toy form. It's just really nice. Proportionally, it looks good. Okay, we have the little hand cars. These, again, the wheels don't move, but there are, because the hands turn, there's that. And there's a little panel that comes off back here for transformation. Nice and sleek. It feels like it's roughly the same size as the old standard die-cast from Matchbox and earlier Popey. We'll do some comparisons after. We have the feet cars. And again, you have those kind of exposed pins that, I don't know, feels like this pin should have been pushed in more. Like you don't see it at the bottom, but you see it there. I don't know if that's a thing. It seems to be okay, just very exposed, right? And again, these wheels don't turn, which is okay, I think, because it will add for stability. But again, those pins are pretty glaring. And it looks like they're different diameters too for either foot. Not that that really matters. And then you have this centerpiece that becomes like the waist of the robot version. There's a little door that comes up, which is nice, but no wheels. And there's your copyright and your fake treads on the bottom. There's actually a lot to these. You'll see the joint in robot mode, but there's some good stuff going on here. So to make this turbo terrain fighter, as much as I love Vehicle Voltron, I am also old and my brain doesn't work right sometimes. So great. So you have, you can plug one on here. Plugs in easy enough. You also plug in easy enough. And you plug this in here. here. Again, these tolerances are pretty tight, but they end up pretty solid. And as derpy as this mode is, again, it's probably one of the better iterations of this turbo terrain fighter. There's just a lot of like little micro adjustments you do to kind of just get it exactly the way you want it to look, because it's very small. But it keeps its balance. It doesn't tip over. It's a silly design, but it works. I think it all works. So let's look at all the teams together. I am pretty satisfied with them. They're small, but they're nicely done. And you know, some people will buy a couple of different sets to do them in different, you know, display one on a robot and one like this. I think they display well, so I think this is a good. So as I was disassembling this, both the wings fell off. So they didn't break off; they're just held in with friction. So just be careful of these, because you could flick them the wrong way and lose them. If you are daring, you may want to try a spot of glue in there, but that could also look ugly. So be careful. Secondly, I also figured out what that hinge, that pin joint is for, and that's that there's a hinge here for an ab crunch when it's in a robot mode. So I understand what's purpose now. So let's transform the whole thing, okay? I always as a kid started with this block. So, you know, we saw that we already had connected it before, but now we have to remove that part. And there's a new faceplate in the package. Nice little faceplate. I don't blame them for doing the part swapping here. It is really small, and getting that mechanism in would be very difficult. So you see right here we have a ball joint head. And then let's put some helicopters on. Okay, now, as I mentioned before, these caps come off. And on the fists, you have these panels here that come out, and that gets taken away, and then you can see that it goes right in there. There you go. You hit a pop. Good. So that's in there, and you just do the same thing to the other side. But note that you know, you have a little pile of little parts and panels left over, and some of it is not the best if you have big fat hands and no fingernails. So maybe you get a little tool. Okay. All right. I like where this is going so far. Oh, you popped out. Again, because there's no like definite like click for some of this stuff, it you know, can pop out, right? It's friction, so just be careful on that. And then next we have this piece. So I guess pro tip, point the belt that way, okay? And then we have this piece, goes in there. Excellent. Then these are interesting, the submarine parts, because they come out, turn around, go back. That's kind of cool. And you can do the same thing with the other one. Again, they just sort of plug in. It's a little bit of, can they go in more? No, that's it. That's what you get. Okay, great. And then push that back in. Again, it's all friction. You got to give it a little oomph. And then yellow. Oh, what the hell was that? Leg fell off. Be nice if there's a little pin that this would pivot into. It's not great. you can see here, and I'm pushing it together, and friction from one will make another piece kind of come off. Oh, just once a tab goes in the hole. All right. Well, I guess that's the way that goes. I thought this would be a circle, but because below here it's a circle, but I guess that makes sense. It allows you to rotate. And then the leg comes off again. I feel like this isn't seating right, and I wonder if I'm doing something wrong. Because it doesn't get, flush. Yeah, there's that peg left there. Oh, you really gotta. I don't know if I love this. I don't know if I love that aspect of the toy. Still kind of wants to come out. I'm doing something wrong. Well, we'll adjust that in a second. And now you have the chest piece. The tab just kind of goes in that little slit there. All right, I have taken the joint apart to find out what's going on with this leg. And the issue really is that the amount of force that it requires to push this in all the way and for it to sit securely is too much for when Voltron is mostly assembled. Because as you can see, see how hard I had to push that in? But that clip is solid, and now it's good, right? So you don't have to take this hip apart to do this, but what I would recommend is when you are assembling the vehicle Voltron into robot mode, is that you put the legs on just on this. You have this at most, right? And then really push till you hear that solid click, and the legs should be more or less flush with the waist piece, right? Blue's not so much an issue. Goes in pretty easily. This side is very hard. So now that it's in, it's pretty good. I still don't like that, but that is fine. So you're going to hear me complain a lot about that through the rest of the episode here, the rest of the review. So I guess know that there is a solution to it. It's just a lesson learned. Put this piece on first, and then build the rest of the Voltron up around it. And then you will be a much happier person than I was while I was losing my mind while that would do it. It's still not acceptable. And I feel that maybe the more you do this, that joint will soften up because it is plastic. But yeah, that's what was going on. So mission accomplished. All right, so I've calmed down a little bit. I sorted out the leg problem. It's actually pretty stable now that I'm into it. But it's frustrating that I had to go through that process of figuring out what was wrong with the leg. Like, I still feel like that shouldn't be an issue, but at least like now, leg no fall off. So I guess that's fine. So the end result is we have a decent action figure of Vehicle Voltron. Still has a couple of issues outside of that. My primary one is don't lose these fins. But there is it's better now. The fins and this leg thing, because I figure when I bend a leg, I should bend at the knee. But the knee joint is tighter than this. So you want to move it, you got to hold on to it, pose it, and then do your thing, But that being said, the posability is nice. So when all is said and done, you have some little pivots and rotation on the shoulders there, and the whole thing can come up, which is nice. Head's on a ball joint, pretty good. The ship, does pivot, and that's really because there is actually a ab crunch, so you do want to give some room for that to happen. There is also, at the same point, a swivel waist, which is cool. So you have swivel biceps. You have nice elbows, good range. The wrists rotate, but also there's a small bit that comes out, so you can really get in there. And the fists have this, you can slide these out. So basically when it's in kind of car mode, it is flush, and then bring it out to, figure mode, robot mode, and you have the little actual distance on the fist there, which is great. So now that we have stable hips, let's look at this hip articulation. We have a nice rotation there, which actually you get a full amount there. That's pretty good. So it feels like, oh, it's going to hit, and it maybe has a little touch point in there, but it's not bad. And that does that. It will rotate. Also will come out. And again, like, it would be nice if I could just bend the leg from there, but this clip is not strong enough, so it bends from here. Okay. When you get down to the ankles, you do have rocker ankles, and it rotates. Now, obviously, this is just it's a little weird. That's a flat peg and a round hole, but it does give you, that rotation there. But it will come out pretty easy. So just be aware of that. So yeah, I'd say it's pretty posable. But let's look at now the accessories. So we have some variant hands. I'll just pop off the existing hands. Let's do these ones first. So these hands have a little dot there, a hole that is meant for holding the propeller blade as a weapon. Yeah, so these hands allow you to hold as propellers, as the weapons that they are. It's a pretty nice, cool effect to do that. But you can also remove the whole assembly from the palm of the hand if you just want to have a splayed open hand. The other hand, of course, is a sword holding hand. And the sword is nice. Very nicely detailed, nice and sharp. Goes right in there. You can see, again, but I mean, that looks sharp, right? It looks really good. But you can see every time I move this leg, that happens. That's a bit of a bummer. I mean, and that's it for accessories. You don't get anything else because it is, sort of value priced in a way. But I think that's still, variant hands, a sword, the propellers. That's very cool. So here are some vehicle Voltrons to compare this piece with. So, of course, here is the current piece. This is the Popey Standard Daruga 15. This is the Japanese version, so I'm firing fists and such. This is a cool piece in that this is, you think it's kind of a knockoff of this, but it's a standard die cast that fully breaks down into its component vehicles. It's sort of mythical in its rarity and obscurity. So that I wanted to show that because it's the closest one to this in a size that comes apart. And then I brought these ones out because this is the Popey DX die cast, not the big plastic one. This is the die cast Chogokin DX, which calling it Chogokin's, there's not a ton of die cast in it, but a lot of weird design decisions in it. But this is the kind of the next size up that transforms. Oddly enough, has shock absorber legs. I keep thinking these should lock in somehow because it just looks strange to have these extended spindly legs. I think I'll have to ask somebody about it to see if there's is there a reason why it's like that? Am I missing something? But yeah, so again, it's a neat piece, and I brought that up because that's the next size up that comes apart into its component pieces. But I also wanted to show you this one, which is a bootleg. You see these on eBay all the time. They're from China. They come on a blister card. They're about $15, $20. And this is basically, you know, another action figure. This is the closest thing that felt like this. And like the plastic is very similar. So if you've had this, then you know kind of what this feels like. And this bootleg is pretty good, all things considered. There's a weird story behind it that I don't know how much of what I heard about is true, but perhaps we'll have another video on that as well. I feel like I have such a weird and vast vehicle Voltron collection that there's a lot of weird stuff that you've probably never seen, and stories about things that I could do, like I've been doing with the Rydeen videos, dig into these really deep cuts of what all these different pieces are. So that might be a nice project to go forth in the summer. But, you know, that's a fun piece. Another thing that's weird about this guy, and I think I understand it's a different animal, but, you know, all of these guys have these sort of very rigid, regal poses, right? They're very stoic and statuesque and straight. This guy is made to pose, right? So getting him in that kind of neutral pose is a little bit of a challenge, because there's so many joints in here that, you know, trying to get everything to line up to be square and level and flat, it's near impossible. So he's going to look a little different on your shelf next to the other ones, because, you know, he's really meant to be, you know, he's not meant to stand still, man. He's meant to be an action figure, to do action poses. So in that regards, he succeeds. So overall, I think, you know, for what, $65, $70 roughly, he's fun. You know, he's very intricate, pretty sturdy. This leg thing was a pain in the butt, and I had a huge problem with it. I had to record a whole lot of video over again once I sorted it out. These fins still come off easily. So if you are doing a thing and you bump it, they will sort of flick off and fly away, and you got to find it. That's not great. This back panel comes off a little bit too easily. So, you know, keep that in mind. And these will come off somewhat in posing as well. But overall, I guess I like it now. You know, I'm sorry if I was salty earlier. Maybe I think I had some, honestly, really funny rants when I thought the whole thing was defective. Maybe I'll put that as bonus features. Oh, yeah, this is also a big concern. You can deal with it, you know, because, again, it's mostly for posing. But the fact that I can't bend the legs without that happening is a bit of an issue, I guess, right? Yeah. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned after the credits for the scenes of me losing my mind about the leg issue. Guaranteed fun for all. Oh, and here's another aside from you. I'm going to be having surgery soon. I'm going to be having a hip replacement because I am old. Ironically, I was having a problem with the legs of Voltron in a very similar location to where my leg is hurting. And so I'm going to queue up some content, but there might be a lull for the next period of time while I recover. I guess we'll be back at some point, and thanks for watching. It'd be super cool if they made an Albegus like this. That would be very cool. But again, I wonder about the engineering. This has been Josh from CollectionDX.com with another Die Ruger 15 review. This leg is fucking driving me nuts. See? It's not great. That is going to annoy the shit out of me. And, might annoy the shit out of you. That's really the only weak point in the whole construction, is that one goddamn leg. I don't know. I'm just getting old. I think this joint just is kind of crap. Yeah, that's not going in any more than that. You get one little pop, and that's it. God damn it. I wanted this to be good. I waited a long time for this. That's inexcusable. That sucks. And it seems like the more that I do it, the worse it gets. Like, is there something in there? Can I take this apart? It's a screw. Maybe I can. Crap. Yeah. All right, so that's disappointing. And now it doesn't seem to want to stay at all. So this leg seems to be okay. Why this one? Why does this one suck? I don't know, send it back, get a refund? Because it sucks. Look at it. What is that? Oh, the helicopter thing fell off. No, why can't anybody get this right? Except Bandai. Bandai got it right. Of course, Bandai got it right. And people say like, well, why, CollectionDX and Josh, you used to review all of these big, expensive Gokins and these high-end toys, and now you don't anymore. You review Star Wars figures. Well, there's two reasons. One, I'm poor now. People don't send samples out anymore. But also, two, this is what you get. Like, when all these companies, unless you're buying Bandai, you get, like, questionable quality, questionable engineering. A lot of it's just not great. And it's a disappointment more often than not. And I'm tired of not having fun, right? So that's why Star Wars figures, they just work, right? They don't break. They're simple and they're fun. And this isn't. This is my favorite character. And it's a piece of shit. I'm gonna throw my blades at you. You're gonna die. It looks great, but this is always in the background. You just kind of, that looks great, right? Like, that's really cool. That sucks. Cool sucks. Cool sucks. Yeah, they get a lot of love. And apparently, the designers don't give a shit about him either. I'm not done ranting yet. So this another reason why this is so frustrating is that the toy does some really nice thing. Again, I love that level of attention to detail. But how do you do this, but not this? And this is that Chinese knockoff plastic one that you can get still on eBay for about $20. And I think it's better. I think it's better than this. And this one looks like he was late coming back to base after he got drunk at the off-base bar and met some ladies of the night. Like, it's just like, it takes a while, and it's exacerbated by the fact that this leg sucks. There's no excuse for this, right? In this day and age. So that's that Vehicle Voltron Anonymous meeting where we come in and say, hi, I'm Poppy Standard Voltron, and I'm able to stand upright, but I can't come apart. Hi, I'm knockoff of you. I can come apart, but my feet tend to fall off for no reason. Hi, I'm the DX version, and I have these really weird spindly feet that have shock absorbers in them for some reason. Don't know why, but it keeps me from standing straight. And also these things slide forward and backward for no reason. Maybe that is just what it means to be a Dairugger, is that there's something wrong with you. And I guess maybe that means Dairugger is the perfect toy for me, because there's many things wrong with me. And on that note, bye.